Good afternoon, my fellow people from San Francisco. My name is Trayvon Smith, and you are tuned into YouthLINE Live. How's everyone holding up? I know yesterday we had a little scare at night, a little storm going on, thunderstorm, lightning happening in the sky. It got everyone all shook us. They were shook. It's okay. But everyone thought the world was ending yesterday, and I was just like, no, you guys, that's just a result of what's happening in the South or another side of the United States, all the hurricanes going on, today. So, with that being said, I hope everyone's safe on that side if they even get the chance to see this video. I hope everyone in Houston, everyone on that side by New Orleans, and that whole huge area is, doing a little better. And I'm going to pray for Houston. I'm going to pray for everyone else. And I have donated to the causes, just so you know. If you guys are new to our show, we air every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Channel 79. 76, what am I talking about? And you can also watch us online at bavc.org, BAVC.org. And you can also check out our website at youthlinemedia.org. So youthlinemedia.org. So we got good content on there. You should subscribe to our zine. And if you want to be a part of our show, that's where you want to go do it. So today's show, of course, is about disasters. I will start off with disaster before I even show the show. It's good though. So before I even go into all the rest of the stuff, I do want to acknowledge the people's families who were a victim of 9/11, and I do want to say that YouthLINE does give their empathetic selves to you guys, and we hope that. I know that it's been a few years since then, but it's kind of hard to hear when you lose someone, especially because everyone has different grieving processes. Everyone has a different pace and a different time to, move past certain situations. And I know a lot of people are still shook by what happened that has family members or whatever the person is to you. Has experienced throughout that trauma, and we do send our condolences for that. We also send our condolences to people that have been affected by Hurricane Irma, Harvey, Jose, all the random hurricanes, and I heard there's going to be more coming. We do send our empathetic thoughts to you guys, and we really send our condolences and our love and support to all of you guys, okay? But speaking of Hurricane Irma and Jose and Harvey and all of that good stuff, we just wanted to talk a little bit more about what's going on if you're not woke and why we're getting our condolences to you guys. Our Hurricane Jose is a Category 4 storm that hit the Florida Lower Keys this whole past month pretty much, and it left a few people dead or passed away. I don't like to say that word, and it's been a really traumatic thing. But before Hurricane Jose has been coming, it's been Hurricane Irma and Hurricane Harvey that's been circling around as well. Hurricane Harvey hit Houston, Texas and the surrounding areas, and Hurricane Irma hit Florida too. Actually, I think all of them hit Florida, and that's not funny. I laugh to keep from crying sometimes. But they all hit Florida, but Houston, Texas, and the surrounding areas, and Florida is really in a pickle right now. So if you guys want to donate to certain causes, I suggest that you do. I know a lot of people are going on to the scene, like Barack Obama was on the scene in Houston, Texas, feeding people meals, and he's not even our president anymore. You should think about that. So I really suggest that you donate to a local cause that you guys can find out. I know Walgreens is doing stuff. Do I know if that's very effective? No. But I really recommend that you donate to your local causes to make sure that the people have shelter and the people have food and, water that's clean to drink and, resources for them to get back on their feet, because it's not always easy just losing everything. It was never easy to lose everything and just get back on your own with no resources, no money, no food, no support, no structure or economy. So I really suggest that you donate to these people that's been affected by the storm. Also, I wanted to go ahead and circle back to 9/11 and just talk a little bit more of, my experience of 9/11, because I know everyone has their experience, because I want to shed light on this. I don't want it to ever die. We should always remember what happened, because something like this can happen in the near future that you would never know about. Like, for example, the whole thing that happened in Barcelona, Spain, in Spain, the attack that happened there that ISIS took claim of. And also, what happened, a lot of people not covering this, but what also happened in Finland, a similar thing happened. Again, ISIS took credit for that. So, we do want to send our condolences to those situations as well. But as far as 9/11, what happened was a lot of people from, I believe it was Al Qaeda at the time, was taking. There was people inside the United States that were bombing certain buildings, and just out of extremist beliefs. So some of the buildings that they bombed or that they ran into, I don't want to say just bombed, but bombed and put planes into, was the World Trade Center. And they also have tried to hit the White House and other buildings as well. Now, it was Osama bin Laden that was the reason for all of this being curated. Of course, he is no longer alive, thanks to Obama's initiative, apparently. He was a big leader of that whole ring, and we just want to send our condolences to you guys for that, because it really was a tragic thing. So the point of what I'm saying basically is to always remember what happened. My story with it, because I'll remember it clear as day, I was in preschool when this happened. I'm 20 years old, if you guys don't know, July 10th, 1997. I'm going to put that out there. I was in preschool at the time, just imagine me being a little preschooler, like, getting ready to go to, kindergarten. And my mom was getting ready to drop me off at school, and my grandma just recently, at that time it was recent, had a stroke, and she was in the hospital recovering. She did survive at that point. She's no longer here with us because of other reasons. But, so my mom was taking me to school, and, just, because, as a young kid growing up in the projects, she was like, I'm going to take his bad stuff to school. I don't agree with the word bad, but you know what I'm saying. That's what happened back then. Times were different. So, she took me to school, and they was like, ma'am, we're closed, you gotta take them home and stay indoors. They instructed us to tell people to keep people indoors because it's not safe outside. My mom was like clueless. She was like, what's going on? She was like, yeah, there's terrorist attacks happening all around the United States, and you need to take cover. Now, my mom was just, shook as well. Like, she just was like, oh my God. So she took me, so the first thing she did was drop me off with my auntie back where I grew up at. And she went to go check on my grandma because she was getting discharged from the hospital that day. Now, it was hilarious because my grandma got home and she thought that planes were coming towards us because she was on, pain medicine. She was kind of loopy. But yeah, that was my experience. And we just all sat down as a family while my grandma was sleeping, of course, and watched the news and just kept updated on what was going on. And the former President Bush was the president at the time, 2 presidents ago, and he was the president at the time, and I was just, as a young kid watching the news, and my grandma had me watching the most radical stuff, but just watching the news and seeing that something so surreal is really happening. It's real. You can see this is an actual thing. You can actually see footage of things happening. I was really blown away by it. I didn't know how to process it. I didn't know how to feel about it. I didn't know how to do anything about it. And so I will always have constant talks with my teachers and stuff like that when I was young. I mean, as intellectual as you can when you're like 3. And of course they had conversations in schools like, hey kids, how do you feel about this and that, and what happened? Did you hear? Did mommy tell you? Did daddy tell you? And it was a difficult thing to process for me because I at that time I've never experienced something so real, something so surreal that is very real. I thought that was something that just happened in movies at that age. Excuse me, I don't know why I can't speak English. I never can speak English. But nonetheless, that's my point of it. And eventually I got older and I understand what happened, because I didn't know the story firsthand. But, now I do. And it is similar to different things that happen in history, and that's happening now. So what I was saying earlier in very, circular thoughts, is that you should always remember what happened. Don't forget. You can live and try to move past things, but never forget, because things like this could have the potential to happen at any time. So you might be mad because TSA has rules and they have 9/11 fees and stuff like that, but they're for the most part trying to keep your safety. I mean, other stuff with TSA is like, okay, no, you're doing too much, but you just keep in mind that this is a real thing and it can happen again at any time from any group or any other place. It can even happen very much from the United States. So just keep in mind to remember what happened and always remember the process of it. And if you have future children, just make sure that you tell them what happened, because my sister was born around that time, and I had to tell her what happened, because it's always important to let your children know about your family's history. But so let's talk about that. And also, let's talk about safety during these situations. Now, usually during like a hurricane, when they catch it about to happen, or a tornado, or whatever the case may be, earthquake, but in this case, of course, hurricanes, they always issue a warning if they have enough warning. Now, you always have the option of fleeing the scene, if you get what I'm saying, or you have the option to take shelter and deal with what happens. Now, I suggest when you do take shelter, because fleeing the scene seems like always the answer for everyone. Like, oh, we're gonna get out of here. But if you are a proud person of where you come from, you want to rebuild and reestablish your place of living and where you grew up at. You want to take shelter. Make sure you always pack an emergency backpack full of things that you will need to keep you good for at least 3 days to a week. Now, you will need gallons of water, like at least a gallon of water, and everyone in the house should have their own survival backpack. A gallon of water, a flashlight, extra batteries, Band-Aids, canned foods that you could either heat up or you can eat in there to keep yourself going. You should always have other things to be saved in there, such as how do I put it? I'm gonna just say eating utensils, because of course you're gonna have a canned food, but of course have eating utensils with you as well. And also make sure you have medications in there, such as over-the-counter medicines in case something happens, like aspirins and stuff like that in there, and other things that you feel like you will need in your area to keep you safe from a hurricane or a natural disaster, or even a power outage in general. And sorry to break it to you guys, if something was to happen, and all the storm's gone, everything's knocked, and you guys are sheltered and all that good stuff, you're not going to have cell phone signal. You're not going to be able to charge your phone. I'm sorry. Unless if you find a way to do that, please send it to YouthLINEmedia.org so we can see that if you're watching this, because I'm curious to know how that would happen. You got to educate me, but sadly, that's not going to happen. And yeah, so make sure you do that. Once you get out of the commotion and everything, make sure you try to seek help and band together with the people in your area that's going through the same thing to receive help, because you do need help when your house is blown away, like it was in The Wizard of Oz. If you think about that, or if you ever saw The Wizard of Oz. If you haven't, you should. But it's kind of like that. You're just flying in the air or whatever is going on, and you don't have no resources. You have each other around you, whoever's around, so you should be able to, go seek help for that. And as far as us go, I do want to acknowledge in California that there has been earthquakes well, not earthquakes. There has been fires going around everywhere. There's been fires going around. If check my list, there's been fires going around in Alberta, Montana, Nova Scotia. Greece is on fire as well. Brazil, Portugal has fires going on. Algeria, Tanzania, Greenland, the Sakha Republic of Russia, and Syria, and also California. Like, there's parts of California that's really like setting fire. Of course, we have natural fires that happens from dry land and stuff like that, and we're always trying to prevent that to happening. Which I can, and it's also why I can see why people are like, oh, this is the end of the world. We got fires happening all over the globe. We have hurricanes just hitting everything. We have, earthquakes happening in Mexico, and is everything happening all around the world, and it can be disheartening. And at this time, I really think that we should band together to, love each other, if anything. Also, places that got hit with tornadoes and storms that is currently flooded is Texas, India, Nepal, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. They're experiencing a lot of deaths because of that. Sierra Leone and Niger are experiencing massive floods, mudslides, and death by the thousands, which is really a tragedy. It's just so sad of what's going on. Earthquakes is also happening by the Yellowstone volcano. There's a 5.3 earthquake, and it also hit Idaho, which that's a pretty huge magnitude, 5.3. So that's something to worry about. Also in Japan, and of course, like I said, Mexico got hit with an 8.2. Japan got hit with a 6.1 earthquake. And that's really sad. And they have a possible tsunami warning, according to my records. So, a lot of people don't know about all the natural disasters that's going around the whole entire globe, not just the U.S. There's a lot of things going on right now, which is insane. And a lot of people are coming up to me, and I'm not trying to push this on anybody or any way, shape, or form that this is written in the Bible. A lot of this is foreseen. A lot of people are coming up to me like, it's the end of the world, it's the end of the world. But regardless of what happens, we just gotta have each other, gotta love each other. Remember that love rules all. That if we all can help everyone and put aside our differences that we might have with each other, then we can just move on and band together and help each other, and we can survive everything that's going on. Okay, that's the biggest message. That's one of the bigger messages here. And I also want to give a little bit more of fire prep and earthquake prep. Always remember, like it was as a kid, stop, drop, and roll in case you catch on fire, of course, because you don't want a fire. Once you roll, the fire kind of puts itself out, unless you got gasoline on you, which I don't know how you would, but in the situation that you do, make sure that you don't have those clothes on and roll. Just roll, and if you're on fire, just roll and just take clothes off and just roll, because it's possible, I guess. And also, make sure that you have a evacuation plan for that type of thing. If a fire was to strike your house, you always should have a safety evacuation plan for that, and so you won't be stuck in a situation where you have to lose one person in a house or something like that due to the fire. You always should have an evacuation plan. Or if some worse comes to shove, you should always have a plan B, C, D, or E if possible. And also to stay prepared for earthquakes, similar like to the hurricanes, make sure you have a backpack. Each person has a backpack, not just one big one. Each person has a backpack with water, canned food, utensils, and medicines and stuff, worst comes to shove. And also bandages, you guys. Like, when I say band-aids, I don't mean like the sticky band-aids. I mean like the ace wrap bandages that the worst comes to shove, someone gets cut. Someone any situation that has an open wound or flesh, that you can try to save them before medics come, so they won't be as infected or infected at all by any of these situations. And always, remember to stay as safe as possible, and always have an evacuation plan. So this has been our show today. Thank you so much for watching our show. I hope that you learned something from today's show. I know the way that I brought it to you can be a lot, and it's a lot to take in, and it's a lot to have note of. And like I said in the beginning of the show, our condolences go out to the families of 9/11, the families that are affected by the Houston, Texas hurricane that happened, most primarily Hurricane Harvey. Anyone around the surrounding areas that have been affected by the hurricanes, anyone in Florida that got hit by Hurricane Irma and Hurricane Jose, and we hope that you guys stay safe from all the hurricanes that come to come. Excuse me. And also, we do want to give our condolences to everyone hit by the earthquakes. We get how it is being from California, especially from San Francisco, being on the San Andreas Fault, to where we get how drastic that can be. Always remember 9/11. Always remember, as far as earthquakes, 1904. Always remember 1989. It's either 87 or 89. I always get it confused. But always remember the big drastic earthquakes, and always have empathy for the other people going through stuff. You can't be closed off. And I know a lot of people often be like, "Oh, well, that's not going to happen to us. We're safe. We're in the Bay Area," but you never know what's going to happen. So always, be empathetic, and always be willing to donate to causes. Donate to the cause to get Houston back up running, to get the surrounding areas back up running. Make sure that you donate the cause to get Florida back on track, because we are all humans at the end of the day, and we all deserve a chance to live, and we also all deserve, to be rebuilt, and also to have our lives back on track, because after all, we get thrown off, but we always come back stronger at the end of the day. Also, remember to check out YouthLineMedia.org for everything YouthLine. Subscribe to our zine. And also, if you want to be a part of a TV show to advertise anything, to talk about anything, to bring anything on board, we are down for it. Always remember, I'm Trayvon Smith, and you have been tuning into YouthLINE, and we'll see you next week.